I wonder who that was.
Oh, let me show you. I took this group of, these are a group of geeky guys. Mundagas, you would have loved this. They all own agencies. Everybody there owned an agency. What does that mean? You own somebody's very loud. It may be Mundagas. Make sure you're quiet. They all own agencies. What is an agency? An agency is somebody who helps other people do things, right? And so John and Doris is kind of fascinating. All these young kids open these agencies. Good morning, Mr. Bob Martinez. Welcome. I'm talking about the last weekend that I had, spending the weekend with a company called Ever Genius that is truly, again, you smart kids who understand how to go from A to Z very quickly. And if you can master this, it's unbelievable. So number one, let me start with how this is going for me, okay? That's one of the reasons you're on this call, is that I went to bed one night, I clicked around a couple of things, I went on my Facebook and woke up and there was $642 in my account because I gave away a free book. Now, just so you guys know, this Expert Secrets, this isn't for digital marketers. This is for anybody who's got a business who needs to understand how a customer goes through a journey, customer retention, and how you take this shit and automate it online. This is just both of his, or just must reads. Overcoming objections, understanding how to create campaigns, understanding, Bob and you and I talk about your Facebook, right? The Facebook group and your business page. Those are funnels. Those are a way to get customers in without you having to do anything. And so I'm just going to share a screen really quick. Go to my ClickFunnels account. And none of you need to become affiliate marketers. You just need to be good at affiliate marketing. It should be a small part, maybe a big part, of your everyday life that generates you money while you sleep. That's all this call is about, how to make money while you sleep. From someone who doesn't know very much, I'm not an expert in all of this, but I'm an expert marketer. And I like making, and if I can do this, the point is, you can too. You should all have an Amazon affiliate account. So check this out, okay? I love waking up and seeing numbers in this account. This is the most amazing thing I've done. I mean, without any work. Like I'm still shooting infomercials and teaching and speaking and stuff. So let's see, okay. Do you guys see this on my screen? I don't know why I had to give $38 back. Somebody probably wanted a refund, damn it. But on Friday, I had $118. On Saturday, I made $118. And on Sunday, I made $38. Really? So far, with selling something I don't have any affiliation to except I like it, we have now made $1,866. I got to tell you something. That's really nice. Isn't it, Justin? You're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Now, obviously, if you've got a multi-million-dollar business, I met a guy yesterday, Ryan Steuben, who makes $9 million a year. He doesn't need this. But for the rest of us, for me, this is understanding how the system works. So what are we talking about here? One, I'm talking about just signing up. If you're part of my ClickFunnels tribe, if you go to Forbes Friends, how do you sign up? Oh, go to ForbesFriends.com. That's one way to do it. To sign up for ClickFunnels as an affiliate with us. I don't know if you can do this if you don't have an account. A lot of companies you can affiliate with where you don't have any account. But I want you all to have ClickFunnels. It's an amazing system. The next thing you should do, all of you, if you're on this call, you must do this. Let me unshare my screen right now. You really need to go to, you know what? Let me go find it and give you the link. I'm a really good teacher, but I will tell you, good teachers have good teachers. Go to YouTube and spend the 2 hours listening to this man. Because what he talks about is not funnel building. What he talks about is psychology. It's 2 hours and 53 minutes now for free. He used to sell this for like,
offer. And even with that, though, understand I'm not 100% at bat.
Okay? He used to sell this for $5,000.
Babe Ruth, back to baseball, I don't know. Babe Ruth was probably, I'm pretty sure he wasn't 100% at bat, right? I'm just kidding. Of course he wasn't. He wasn't 100% either, right? Doesn't matter how good you are, like, you're never going to be 100%. But if you only make one offer, then it's just going to fall flat. Okay, so it's going to become a part of this thing. Like I would create offers and put things out there and see what people respond to and see what they don't. Okay, so I'm titling this module the irresistible offer. I'll probably spell this wrong.
Look how self-effacing and adorable he is.
Offer. Now, I want to caveat this with something.
This company makes $6 million a month.
My first mentor in this whole business, his name was Mark Joyner, and he wrote a book called The Irresistible Offer. So when I was, 12 years ago, I think I read that book when I was first getting into this. And so just that title has been rung into my head. It's a great book. I recommend reading it. Mark Joyner's a genius, and he's going to be on one of the episodes of Funnel Hacker TV coming out soon, which is so cool. Anyway, but there's a really good book he wrote. I read the book to help you understand like some cool things about creating an offer. And this is kind of my take on it. But like that word irresistible offer, ever since he wrote that book, like it's always in my head. We're going to create something like, what's the offer? What's the irresistible offer? Like it's always in my head. Okay. Now I'm going to take you guys through through 4 different phases of this. And by the way, like as I'm doing this, 2 things. Okay. I'm going to step off of teaching mode for a minute. Watch what I'm doing as well as what I'm saying. Okay. When I'm creating an offer, I'm always creating a framework around the offer. Okay. Module number 1 that I taught earlier today, it looked like some random doodles, right? This was a framework for what I wanted to teach you today. So everything I'm teaching has a framework. So here I mapped out this morning, here's the framework, and then I sketched it out there. The nice thing about a framework is, especially when you're not super confident teaching, if you have a framework, you go off on tangents sometime, you come back, you always come back to the framework. So this was a framework for module number 1. Okay, I have a framework I created for module number 2. As you are creating your training, frameworks are the key. Brendan Bouchard told me today, said the frameworks become your savior as you're teaching. Because a lot of times we're teaching, we get all nervous, like we're all over the place, and then you create a framework, then you teach a piece of it, you come back to it, you go on tangents, but then you always come back to the next piece of the framework. So there's some lecture. All right, so back to the teaching. So for irresistible offer, the first thing that I think is key, especially in the expert business, this isn't always true in all businesses because some businesses you're not an expert at creating content. Although I would argue that every business should be doing this. In fact, all the businesses I've consulted with who aren't expert businesses, guess what the first thing I do is? I bring in the expert part because the expert part becomes fuel that launches everything else. The very first episode of MarketingSecrets.com podcast I recorded yesterday, I talked about this. Like venture capitalist companies right now, we've got 4 or 5 of them been trying to give us money inside of ClickFunnels. What's interesting is that every single one of them, they try to give us money, we tell them no, and they're like so confused. And then the first time we had this lunch conversation, we're sitting at lunch with one of them, and he's asking us our business, our numbers. It's just kind of, for us, it's kind of fun to hear, just to like see what they value us at. Like we have a value in our mind we think we're worth, which is like 10 billion. But I want to see what they actually value us at because it's real, right? And so they're asking us questions. One of the questions they ask is, well, what's your cost to acquire a customer in ClickFunnels? Which is a great question, right? If you're on Shark Tank, the first question, like, what's your cost to acquire a customer? And 99% of the entrepreneurs are like, I don't know. So you should know that number. It's really, really important, right? And he asked us, said, well, right now on Facebook, we're spending about $120 to acquire a customer. And he's like, oh, this is awesome. So if we gave you $15 million, that equals X amount of customers. And like, he's like, the light bulbs in his mind are going off. And I was like, oh, but real quick, we shut down those ads. And he's like, what? That's like the best, CPA ever. I was like, no, like, you understand, like, we're not venture back. Like, this is me. Like, every one of the people, I have to take $120 out of my wallet and put it out. Like, we're getting 500 or 600 signups a day. Like, it's expensive. And so what I found is I like to make sure that I get paid before I introduce somebody to my company. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, okay, well, let me explain. This is before the Expert Secrets book came out, but with the .com Secrets book. So I said, okay, this is one of my books. This is a book funnel. Somebody comes here, they buy the book, and then we have upsells and downsells in this funnel. What happens is, I think at the time we're spending like $12 to sell a book, and on the backside we were making like $32 per book. So I said, what happens is that we drive all our traffic to this, but $10 to get a customer, we make $32, $12.30, so we pocket $20 in our pocket, and then that person who just made me $20, then I tell them about ClickFunnels over here. And that way, every single customer actually pays me before we take them to ClickFunnels. And he was like so confused, and I explained it 4 or 5 times, and finally what he said at the end of it, he said, Russell, if that's true what you just said, he said, it will change business across the world forever. It's like, I know. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're trying to teach everybody. You don't understand. This is the power, right? And so it doesn't matter if you are an expert business or not. Like in the first of the Expert Secrets business, I talk about there's 2 different types of business models. One is I'm an expert. One's like I sell physical products. Okay, well, expert business will blow this thing up for you. Or I sell supplements, I sell network marketing, I sell software, like whatever it is. Like you look at ClickFunnels, we're a software company. How much expert product, how much is the expert, like if you guys are watching what I'm doing, how much of this is fueling this thing, right? It's the key to everything. So it's important, right? So with that, so step number one, the first thing you got to figure out is what is your system? Okay, what is your system for doing your thing? Okay, the system that you follow to get that result. We talked about in module number one. So here's the result you got for yourself. Here's the result you got for someone else. What's the system you take somebody through to get that result? Okay, you first think that you're like, oh, that seems complicated, Russell. Well, the good news is like I'm really not very complicated. A little bit slow on a lot of things. So this is how I did it. First time I ever did this, this is back 12, 13 years ago now. I was selling my potato gun DVD. I was selling a couple of other things. And one of my friends, Mike Filson, had an event. He said, hey, I want you to come speak at this event. And I was like, I've never spoken at an event. That scares me a lot. And he's like, you got to do it. So I was all excited. So again, I buzzed my head, got my glasses on, and I got my shirt and my tie. I look at the pictures now. It's so embarrassing. But anyway, so I get the thing. And I thought, if I'm going to come to an event anyway, I might as well like do something cool with it. So the night before the event, I found a video guy said, and I got a room, and I invited people to come. I think I had like 7 or 8 people that were coming to the event as my guests. And so I said, hey, the night before, I'm going to do a presentation, just kind of get you guys up to speed so that when you show up at the event the next day, like you have a foundation in place. And so that was the plan. So I had a room, and I had a video camera in the back. I was going to film it just in case something cool happened. But literally, there were 7 people invited. So that day, everyone goes check in the hotel, and those 7 people are probably at the bar or doing whatever. And they told other people, and everyone started finding out. And so, that night, I walk into the room for my little group meeting with 7 people to talk. I walk in the room. There's 50 people jammed in this room. And I was like, I got them in the right room. What's happening? So I kind of walk to the front, and I look out, and the camera guy's like, you want to start now? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to talk about. I was like, so I told the audience, I was like, hold on, you guys. I left my notes up in my room. I'll be back in 1 second. So I ran back, jumped in the elevator, went to the room, and I'm like shaking, like, what? Oh my gosh, there's 50 people. What am I going to talk about? I have no idea. And I like, my palms, my hands are sweating. I was just like that fear, and like, do I just stay up here? Like, I call room service. No one even know. I'm like, oh crap, I'm speaking tomorrow. They're going to like wonder why I bailed on them. Like, all these things are going through my head. Finally, I was like, oh, so I grabbed a yellow pad of paper. I love yellow pads of paper. I was like, okay. And in my head, I was like, if I was writing a book, what would the table of contents be? And I was like, okay, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. And I listed out like 7 or 8 chapters that would be in the book. And then I was like, that's all the time I got. So I walked down, jumped in the elevator, came.
I just want you guys to love the fact that a man who's now generating about $6 million a month was sweaty, was nervous, didn't really have a solid plan at that moment. But I'll tell you what, you're watching a massive genius come into his own. And that's what I feel everyone on this call is like one step from.
Walked the front of the room, came, all right, everyone, got my notes. We're recording? Okay. Module number, step number 1. And I came up here and I was like, okay, step number 1 is this. And then I wrote the thing down, and I taught for like 15, 20 minutes on step number 1. And I'm like, step number 2 is this. Step number 3. And I went through my system, how to do my thing, and I just taught it. By the time I was done, people were like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. And it was awesome. We recorded it. That DVD ended up becoming a huge tool in how I actually grew the market side of the business back in the day.
Okay, so Bob, I want you to hear this. All that he did, I know you've talked about I don't know stuff. Everything that you take for granted, that you do, that you systematize it all, you should get a group of guys in a room, literally 4 or 5 guys in a room, and just start to teach what you do, how you run your business. I mean, this is for all of you. All of you have a system for whatever it is that you do, even if you don't realize it. For my players call who are successful at what they do, you absolutely have a system. Justin, you can be teaching right now a little bit more about how to do FBA. That one thing can generate you money. And it can generate you money at $19 a course. So I don't care. Put it up and talk about it. Hey, guys, you know what? Many of you out there are struggling with Amazon. I've got this course on how to master FBA and how I make this amount of money. Bob, in a time when there is disaster after disaster after disaster, man, I don't know why we're not capitalizing on this in a massive way. Fire and flood. I mean, the world is going to shit in a handbasket, right? Or hell in a handbasket?
Yep.
And you're that guy. You have how many years of experience?
22.
Really? Okay, so you're just starting. That's okay. And I'm going to tell you that that's what I want to focus on with you. I know you've been a little busy, but we need to reschedule our next hour to catch up on all that you've been doing. Because what you're hearing here is what I want you guys to be doing. The problem is you actually have to do it.
So the first thing I would say is you got to figure out like what's your system. Okay, it doesn't have to be super complicated. I was looking at like if you ever read a book on this, and I don't recommend everyone writes a book right out of the gate because it's hard. Like this book took me 10 years before I had the guts to write. This one took me 2 years. Like it's a lot of work. But what we do need to have is like the table of contents. Like if nothing else, the most valuable part of the book for you will be the table of contents. Like what is your?
By the way, how valuable is this for everybody to listen to? Everybody unmute and just give me some feedback because I'm going to let this run for another solid 10 minutes. Is this good?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, just want to make sure because I listened to him. This is what I'm. Yeah, okay, keep going.
If someone's going to read a book on your system, like what would it be? Like what's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3? Because in a book, you're going to take someone through a process. So think about this. Your system initially is like here is the table of contents. Okay. So again, you got yourself this result. What typically happens when you get your own result is you're learning all sorts of things, you're doing all sorts of stuff. It's kind of like all over the place. And then you try to help someone else. You're like, give them all this crap and they're like, oh, and they can't get a result from it, right? The way they get the result is for you to take all the stuff and organize, okay, if I was to do this again, what would be the first step and the second and the third and the fourth? What would be the order of it? Like you taking everything you've learned in this growth phase and putting it in chronological order is 99% of the reason why you are the expert. Okay, most of my ideas aren't mine. I understand that. Like I am living off the shoulders of giants. I try in both my books to give credit where credit is due for every single person I learned things from. Okay, these are not my unique ideas. What I did is I've studied so many people, and I'm like, I learned storytelling from Michael Haig. I learned breaking belief patterns from Jason Fladley. I learned status from Perry Belcher. I learned all these different things, right? And it's like all this stuff happening, and I can just be like spewing it out at people, and they'd be like, no context at all. Or I can say, okay, based on all this stuff that I've been using, I've been implementing, I've been documenting, like what is the context, what is the format, what is the system that I take people through? I take that, okay, boom, here's the system. Step 1 is what? Well, this book, step 1 for me was creating your mass movement. They understand here you got to create a mass movement. Why? This is why. Step 2, identify your charismatic leader, attractive character. Step 3, what is your future-based cause? Step 4, new opportunities. Step 5, the opportunity switch. Number 6, the big domino, then epiphany version, hero's two journeys, an epiphany version script. So I took all this crap I've been in my head, I've been studying for a decade, and put it into a chronological order. That has become my system. Okay? And some of you guys may be like, well, I don't know how to create that. So a couple things. If you want to create this, like I told you, during your growth phase, you should be reading lots of books and podcasts and videos and learning and growing. But like look at the table of contents of other people's stuff that you're reading. Like what's the process they're taking through? Do you agree with that process? Is it similar? Is it different? Like what's your take on this whole thing? Somebody in the questions asked, I think it was a good question, was like, where do you draw the line between like creating and copying? Like what's the difference? And I always heard from people that like, if you're, I don't know if this is a good quote or not on live TV, but here we go. If you're borrowing from one person, it's copying. If you're taking from a lot of people, then it's research or something like that, right? So it's like I'm not going to go buy one person's book and then teach that same thing. Like, that's not right. If I buy 30 books and I take that and I do my own life experience and I try things out, then like your creation is like, here's all the stuff that I learned. Okay, and I'm such a big believer. Like give credit where credit's due. There's no one in this book where I just said, and then I invented this. Like I always try like, no, I learned this from so-and-so, and this, like I've been documenting my journey, right? And I'm sharing it with you in a systematic process, okay? But look at other people's things. One of my mentors a long time ago, he told me that like if you go to the bookstore and you buy one of the dummies guides, like dummy guide for computer, dummy guide for juicing, dummies guide for whatever, like they do a lot of research. They're really good at the research phase, and they'll show you a lot of like, here's the process they went through, and it gives you tons of ideas like how could your system be, how could it work, okay? Now after you kind of written the system down, like part of this now is this is what you're going to use to get your result. You take somebody through this process, and this is where you start finding out like, that didn't make sense here. Like that was wrong. That didn't quite make sense. In fact, it's interesting. Both of these books I wrote, the first draft of the book, and Expert Secrets was the second draft. So I deleted the first draft live on Snapchat. Both of the books, I wrote them, had the table of contents, and then I was like, I'm missing something. Like, things are good. Like I didn't feel like this was right. The process So both of them, I had an inner circle event where I invited my inner circle members into a room like this. I was like, okay, I'm going to teach this book. And I started teaching them. And as I was teaching them, it was weird because like some things would flow and other times they get stuck and question. I'm like, they're all stuck right here. In fact, it's funny because we're going to be talking about tomorrow about the big domino and the big domino statement. It's funny because like when I was teaching that at the workshop when the book was the first draft of the book was done, I had time slotted out 3 minutes for that. So I thought it was such an easy concept. And I explained it and everyone was like, wait, what are you talking about? So I re-explained it. We spent 3 hours on the big domino. But at the end of that, we came out with like one statement that was like the big domino statement you read in the book that like encompassed everything. Where it's like, oh, that's how it works. But if I hadn't been using this to try to get results from someone else, I wouldn't have known the system was broken, right? So you create the system, then you start using it on somebody, start practicing, and you'll find out like, that for them to be able to do this, I have to know this first. I got to change the order, and that wasn't clear, so I had to change this. And like that actually didn't really matter, so I'm going to delete that. This did make sense. And like, oh my gosh, while I was doing this process, we kind of didn't realize like we did this. Like I did this over here, but I forgot about that. I'm going to add it over here. It's like you start learning and like the system becomes like a thing as you are doing it to get a result for somebody else. Does that make sense? It's kind of like that. We talk about like the stone. It's like you're chiseling it and you're chiseling it and you're chiseling it. So eventually it's like, wow, this is the stone. Like the expert book I'm proud of, like it's a polished stone, like it's a process. It works, right? But it took me a while to get to that thing. So for you, I think the first step is taking all this crazy enough stuff you figured out and then and put to like, here's the chronological order. If I was to help somebody, map that out, then here's your system. Then go take that and find your dream person and do it for them. Do it with them. Like go through the process, and then you'll start refining and tweaking until you've got this thing. It's like, wow, this is my system. This is what I can take people through. Okay, that's step number 1. All right, now you'll notice, by the way, as I created the Expert Seekers Masterclass, guess what we did at the very beginning of it? I was okay. Well, what's the system I want to take people through? I said, okay, first thing we need to do, here's the schedule we announced earlier. First thing I need is I need to help people understand the process of becoming an expert. Then I need to help them figure out how to create an irresistible offer. Then I figure out how to do the big domino and the stories behind it, knock the domino down. And then you see me do a perfect webinar so they can see the practical application of it. And then I'm going to dissect that because they can see what I did and why I did that. And then that was the system, right? That's what these 3 days are about. Okay, so then I mapped out, here's the system. Now it's fun as I'm teaching, I'm feeling too, like what things are flowing, what things aren't. I can feel that as I'm going through it. But the other thing, if you notice what we did, again, watch what we're doing, not just what we're saying. What did I do? When I promoted this event, I said, okay, here's module number 1. What's your number 1 question about you as an expert? We've got like hundreds of comments. Steve's been flowing through them all, reading them all, finding them all. And then this morning we came in, he briefed me on everything. I completely transformed my presentation based on that. This presentation today, I was working on the whole thing. I had kind of an outline and everything. He's like, hey, here's all the questions people were asking. I added 3 different things because of what he said you guys asked. Okay, so it's you get here's step 1 in the process. The second step is let me ask them what they want to know. Okay, when I first got in this business, one of my first mentors were 2 guys, Frank Kern and Ed Dale, super cool dudes. And they had a course they created called the Underachiever Formula. I ended up, fast forward 8 years later, I bought that brand from them and actually launched an ebook based on that. Because I believe so much in it. Like that's what I learned about how I made a potato gun, things like that. Like and in the book, in the course, the Underachiever Formula, they talked about there's like simple 3-step system that makes everything work, right? And so if you look at this, it's really cool. Step number 1 is you have to find a hot market. Hot market. So you got to find a market of people that actually are excited and they want to give you money. Seems so simple. So many people miss it. Okay. Inside of here, you have to find a market. And in the book, Expert Seekers book, we go deeper. I'm trying to go into all those kind of things, but you have to find a market of people who are passionate and that they care and that they are excited about this result. Otherwise, it becomes really, really hard. Joel Irway, I talked about him in the book too. He joined our inner circle and he was like, Russell, this is the deal. I'm an engineer. I help engineers get higher grades, which in turn they get a bigger paycheck. I don't know, something super boring. I fell asleep halfway through his explanation. I was like, oh man, nobody wants that. He's like, no, these like they'll make more money because they'll make better grades or whatever. I was like, dude, no one's gonna buy that. He's like, how do you know? I'm like, dude, engineers, like I love them. I've had a lot of engineer friends. Guess what they are not? Super passionate about engineering. They're not like, your market has to be irrationally passionate if they're going to write you a check for $25,000 or $100,000 or $1,000 or $100. Okay, I'm like, that market's not super passionate. They're passionate about other things in their life, but none of them wake up at night like, okay, I'm going to become a better engineer. What can I study? What can I get? Like, it's just not happening. Maybe there's one or two people. He's like, no, I know this market. They're awesome. So he tried for almost a year, over and over and over again. And man, he worked hard. He wrote the webinar. He had the offer. He kept doing the webinar over and over and over again. He was tweaking the things. He was making it. He was destroying belief patterns, everything we'll talk about tomorrow. He had really good offers. Like, everything was happening. He kept launching this thing. Guess what was happening? Nothing. He's like, Russell, I spent all this money. Did this thing, I got one sell. I'm like, that's the only dude who's actually passionate about what you're selling. He bought it. Everyone else wasn't. And he's like, thought something was wrong with him or the system. He could have walked away and like, this is a scam. Luckily, Joel was a smart dude, and he actually partnered with somebody else who had a product. He said, look, I've been doing webinars to a market that hates to buy things, and I got a couple people to buy. What if I did it to a market that was actually excited about stuff? So we partnered with Jason O'Neill in my inner circle. Jason had a drop shipping program. Joel came in, did the webinar pitch for his people, crushed it. I just destroyed it. And you go from closing 100% of the one engineers actually excited about something, like people that are passionate, like it's insane. Crushed it. He did webinars for him for a long time. He went out, started his own webinar agency, and like has built this huge company based on like him crushing webinars that he learned by selling to a market that wasn't excited, right? It's so much easier if you just come in like, what is a market that people that are actually excited about giving people money? Okay, so that's number one. Again, I'm not going to go deep in that because you get that in the Expert Secrets book, but make sure you pick the right market. If you have the wrong market, you are going to struggle every day. People won't give you money. They don't do that. They won't want to. It's just the market, everything becomes hard. You pick the right market, everything becomes easier. Okay, number one, find a hot market. Number two, what you do not do is then go spend the next 6 months like creating a product and then like giving it to them. Like, here's the product you guys want. And like, we didn't want that. They do because I want it, so you look like, no, we don't want it. Pretty sure we don't. We're not going to give you money. Okay, I can't tell you how many people I've seen go through that process. I had a friend when I first got in this business, and he came to me, he had this book. It was, I'm not going to tell you the name of the book, so maybe he's listening. If you are listening, this is for you. He basically was like, he'd been selling this ebook he'd written for 5 years, and he was like trying to sell. And he kept trying thing after thing after thing. And I told him, like, dude, you should stop selling that thing. He's like, no, I'm not a quitter. I'm like, I know you're not a quitter, but you should quit. You should really stop selling that thing. The market has told you they don't want it. And guess what he told me? He said, Russell, I can't stop selling this book. I put in so much time and effort into this. I can't walk away from it now. I was like, oh, man, you got the wrong market. You got the wrong people. No matter how hard you try, it's never going to work. Pick the right market is good. And then the second thing is not just picking the market. Then you have to ask the market, like, what do you actually want? You want. Okay, when I came here, it wasn't just like, oh, yeah, here I'm going to teach you about being an expert. I was like, what do you guys want to know about this? And what are you struggling with? And then they tell it to you. That's the coolest thing. The market will tell you. One of my favorite things, again, I'm going to Gary V. binge. I've been watching this like 5 years now. I'm like, man, I talk about Gary a lot. It's training. But Gary talked about it. He's like, the market does not care who you are. It doesn't care if you are white, black, tall, skinny, male, female, does not care. The market just cares about themselves. You got to understand that. It's not about you. It's not about like, oh, I want to create this product because I'm passionate about this thing. Like, that's cool. You should be passionate about the topic, but do not be passionate about the product. Okay, products come and go. So many guys handcuff yourself to this idea that you are so obsessed with you love, but you're the only one. Okay, the faster you break away from that and go from like, I don't go shift from like, I want to create this to like, what does the market want? And you create that, everything was okay. Find a hot market, you ask them what they want, and the last step after you ask them what they want, then guess what you do? Give it to them. Almost too simple. Okay. Hey, you guys are about weight loss. You want weight loss stuff. Cool. What do you want to know about? They tell you. Cool. You make that. Hey, maybe you say you want a thing. Here it is. Oh, sweet. And they give you money. That's it. That is business. Okay. I learned that initially from Frank Kern and Ed Dale way back in the day, and it served me so well. Every time I messed up is because I picked the wrong market. I assumed what they wanted to buy instead of asking them, and then I gave them the wrong thing. But if you get a hot market, you ask them what you give them right. You give them exactly what they want. This game becomes really easy. It's not rocket science. It's not us trying to invent stuff. People are like, Russell, you're so creative. I am not creative. Okay? Guess what? I got my creativity class in college. You can ask Dr. Murley. He is the professor here at Boise State. Say, hey, what did Russell to get when he took your creativity class? You say, Russell failed my creativity class, but I gave him a C because I wanted him to graduate. Thank you, Dr. Murley. I really do appreciate that. I failed my creativity class, but he gave me a C. You don't have to be creative. I'm not creative at all. These books are not creative. What are they? It's me running ask campaigns, trying things, asking questions, documenting my process, learning all this stuff, putting them in a chronological order. Okay, I'm not creative. I just find a hot market, ask it what it wants, and I give that thing to them. That's it. Russell, you're so smart. How did you think about ClickFunnels? I didn't think about how many people out there listening right now have tried to build ClickFunnels? I tried to build it for 7 years. I had a team of 6 guys here in Boise trying to make this thing. Okay, it didn't work. It wasn't until I found Todd and Dylan, 2 geniuses who actually could do it, that we had ClickFunnels, right? The market told us, so everyone knew it. It wasn't some magic tricks by lead pages, as horrible of a program as it is. I'm glad you guys can't edit that. People wanted it because it was the best they had. Like, sweet, well, we want something like that, so it worked, right? Confusionsoft, same thing. Like, they're not a good program, but the market needed something, so they were there and they stepped in and they found the market wanted to be able to sell stuff, so they gave it to them. Even if it's poorly executed, you can be successful. You execute it right, you can blow up, right? That's a whole other conversation. But it's just what it is. Find a hot market, ask them what we want, and give it to them. You don't have to be creative. Like, your creativity will kill you most of the time. Okay? I have designers I work with, and they always try to be creative. I'm like, oh, that's really, really pretty. Okay, but you need to delete it. This is what people want. And they always hate me for that. But that's how it works, right? Anyway, all right. Step number 1, the system. Okay, that went on a tangent, went a lot longer than I thought. Hopefully something good came from it. All right, now you got the system. Now number 2 is understanding that a lot of people, they create that's like, this is what, I have a coaching program, I have a product, I have whatever. You have to understand that you are not creating a product, okay? P-R-O-D-U-C-T. If I spell it right. There we go, product. All right, here's a product. If you create a product, you are going to struggle. Products are commodities. Products, people are like, oh, well, he got a Facebook course, he's got a Facebook course. Which one should I get? Oh, he's selling this, he's selling like Amazon. Everyone's like, it's a commodity, right? Like everyone's just, it's like, what's the cheapest? Which one, that's the thing. You got a product, you're going to struggle. Like, we're not creating a product. This may be a product, but that's not what we're selling. We're not selling a product. Okay, if you're selling a product, you are going to struggle. What we are creating is an offer. Offer here. So an offer wraps around this thing, okay? An offer is bigger than just a product. It's the things you put together to get somebody the ultimate result. This is a hard thing to teach. But as I move on to the next phases in this, watch what I'm mapping out, and you'll see how I'm not just selling the system, right? Working on our 2 Comma Club coaching program. And initially, before that is the offer, is the 2 Comma Club coaching. Then inside the offer are a whole bunch of products that make this thing amazing. Okay, so it encompasses it. So for example, if I was selling, we'll use Amazon because it's such a commodity, right? So let's say I'm selling these things right here, right? On Amazon, right? So if I'm selling this, like, I'm dealing with everybody else who's selling this exact same thing, right? It's a commodity. I'm selling a product. So now when there's a commodity, it's like a race to the bottom, right? If I create an offer, I'm taking, here's the product, but I'm also going to offer some other stuff. So I'm going to give you guys, not only am I going to give you this, I'm going to give you my director's manuals to show you how to direct videos in the highest way possible. I'm also going to give you guys my 3 favorite marker sets that make sure you can write things really good. I'm also going to give you then the stickers so you can customize this for yourself. And I'm going to give you something else, right? That is an offer. Now something's like, whoa.
Well, that was interesting, huh? I'm going to go back for that for a second. What did you just do?
The market just cares about themselves. You got to understand that. It's not about you. It's not about like, oh, I want to create this product because I'm passionate about this thing. Like, that's cool. You should be passionate about the topic, but do not be passionate about the product. Okay? The products come and go. So many guys handcuff yourself to this idea that you are so obsessed with and you love, but you're the only one. Okay? The faster you break away from that and go from like, shift from like, I want to create this to like, what does the market want? And you create that, everything will shift for you. Okay? Find a hot market, you ask them what they want, and then the last step is after you ask them what they want, then guess what you do? Give it to them. Almost too simple. Okay? Hey, you guys are about weight loss. You want weight loss stuff. Cool. What do you want to know about? They tell you. Cool. You make that. Hey, remember you said you want that thing? Here it is. Oh, sweet. And they give you money. That's it. That is business. Okay? I learned that initially from Frank Kern and Ed Dale way back in the day, and it served me so well. Every time I messed up is because I picked the wrong market. I assumed what they wanted to buy instead of asking them, and then I gave them the wrong thing. If you get a hot market, you ask them what you give them give them exactly what they want. This game becomes really easy. It's not rocket science. It's not us trying to invent stuff. People are like, Russell, you're so creative. I am not creative. Okay? Guess what? I got my creativity class in college. You can ask Dr. Murley. He is the professor here at Boise State. Say, hey, what did Russell to get when he took your creativity class? He'll say, Russell failed my creativity class, but I gave him a C because I wanted him to graduate. Thank you, Dr. Murray. I really do appreciate that. I failed my creativity class. They gave me a C. You don't have to be creative. I'm not creative at all. These books are not creative. What are they? It's me running ask campaigns, trying things, asking questions, documenting my process, learning all this stuff, putting them in a chronological order. Okay, I'm not creative. I just find a hot market, I ask it what it wants, and I give that thing to them. That's it. Russell, you're so smart. How did you think about ClickFunnels? I didn't think about like, how many people out there are listening right now have tried to build ClickFunnels? I tried to build it for 7 years. I had a team of 6 guys here in Boise trying to make this thing. Okay, it didn't work. It wasn't until I found Todd and Dylan, 2 geniuses who actually could do it, that we had ClickFunnels, right? The market told us, so everyone knew it. It wasn't some magic tricks by lead pages, as horrible of a program as it is. I'm live, you guys can't edit that. People want it because like it was the best they had. Like, sweet, well, we want something like that, so it worked, right? Confusionsoft, same thing. Like, they're not a good program, but the market needed something, so they were there. They stepped in, and they found the market wanted to be able to sell stuff, so they gave it to them. Even if it's poorly executed, you can be successful. You execute it right, it can blow up, right? That's a whole other conversation. But it's just with this: find a hot market, ask them what want, to give it to them. You don't have to be creative. Like, your creativity will kill you most of the time. Okay, I have designers I work with, and they always try to be creative. I'm like, oh, that's really, really pretty. Okay, but you need to delete it. This is what people want, and they always hate me for that. But that's how it works, right? Anyway, all right. Step number 1, the system. Okay, that went on tangent, went a lot longer than I thought. Hopefully something good came from it. All right, now you got the system. Now number 2 is understanding that a lot of people, they create that's like, this is what I have a coaching program, I have a product, I have like whatever. You have to understand like that you are not creating a product. Okay, PRODCT. If I spell it right. There we go. Product. All right. Here's a product. If you create a product, you are going to struggle. Products are commodities. Products, people are going to be like, oh, well, he got a Facebook course. He's got a Facebook course. Which one should I get? Oh, he's selling this. He's selling like Amazon. Everyone's like, it's a commodity, right? Like, everyone's just, it's like, what's the cheapest? Which one, that's the thing. If you got a product, you're going to struggle. Like, we're not creating a product. This may be a product, but that's not what we're selling. We're not selling a product. Okay? If you're selling a product, you're going to struggle. What we are creating is an offer. Offer here. So an offer wraps around this thing, okay? An offer is bigger than just a product. It's the things you put together to get somebody the ultimate result. This is a hard thing to teach. But as I move on to the next phases in this, watch what I'm mapping out, and you'll see how I'm not just selling the system, right? Working on our 2 Comma Club coaching program. And initially, before that is the offer, is the 2 Comma Club coaching. Then inside the offer are a whole bunch of products that make this thing amazing. Okay, so it encompasses it. So for example, if I was selling, we'll use Amazon because it's such a commodity, right? So let's say I'm selling these things right here, right? On Amazon, right? So if I'm selling this, like, I'm dealing with everybody else who's selling this exact same thing, right? It's a commodity. I'm selling a product. So now when there's a commodity, it's like a race to the bottom, right? If I create an offer, so I'm taking, here's the product, but I'm also going to offer some other stuff. So I'm going to give you guys, not only going to give you this, I'm going to give you my director's manuals, going to show you how to direct videos in the highest way possible. I'm also going to give you guys my 3 favorite marker sets that make sure you can write things really good. I'm also going to give you then the stickers so you can customize this for yourself, and I'm going to give you something else, right? That is an offer. Now something that's like, whoa, this one may be $300, that one's $10, but like, oh, I get all this cool stuff. Like, that's the offer. Okay, we've got someone in our inner circle who sells pillowcases. And when she first told me, I was like, pillowcases, huh? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, what makes yours, everyone's got pillowcases. That's going to be a really hard market, right? And she's like, well, we customize the pillowcases. And we have this, and all these things. I was like, oh, because you took this pillowcase from a product where you're competing as a commodity, it turned to an offer, okay? When I would deal with like supplement companies, they're selling products, how we turn this into an offer, we wrap it in systems, we wrap it in other things, right? So again, this will make more sense as we go on, but understanding like, I'm not talking about creating a bunch of products. Like Andrew O'Brien mentioned earlier, if you see the things he was promoting on his page over the last year or so, the deliverables were almost the same, but the offer was different, okay? He was selling PR. That was the result he was selling. And the system was the same to get PR, but how did he package this different? Hopefully he doesn't kill me for telling us all stories, but like, he was like, hey, we'll come in here and I'm going to teach you PR for 6 weeks. Bomb, right? Hey, come here and I will teach your staff PR a little bit better. And he go off with the crush for him. He's like, hey, come here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a business and For 6 weeks, I'm going to do PR to it. We're going to blow this business up. And you guys are watching me document the whole process. You're going to see this things I go through the system. And at the end of it, one of the people in the course, I'm going to give that entire business to them, and it'll become your business. You got to be part of the course to see the documentation, then someone will win the business. Boom. That's an offer. That's a sexy offer. That's something like, oh, it's the same system. You did not change the system. You changed the offer. You made an irresistible offer, right? So look at the thing, because lots of times people, like, the offer doesn't work. Like, oh, great, I'm going back to the drawing board and create the whole thing. No, like, this time, step back and ask your audience what they actually want. Sometimes you ask them by making offers to see what they respond to. Sometimes people lie in surveys. The only data I honestly really believe is when people vote with their credit card. That's the only opinion that actually matters, is people that pull their credit card out and swipe it, right? Or type in the digits. So sometimes you're asking by putting out offers and seeing what they respond to, okay? All right, so creating a system, turning it into an offer, not a product, decommoditizing it, giving you the ability to sell this thing for way more. And I always want you to think about, how do I sell this for more? Okay, Dan Kennedy told me, he said, there's no strategic advantage of being the second lowest price leader in town. Okay, commodity, you're fighting to the lowest. You're becoming Walmart. That business sucks so bad. Okay, rule number one here in the inner circle is our team knows, you don't sell to broke people. Okay, so if I can't be the lowest price leader, there's no strategic advantage of being the second lowest price leader, but guess what there is? There's a huge strategic advantage of being the most expensive. Okay, you have a wrapping senior offer. You take this $20 yo-yo and you make this thing worth $200 because you turn it into an offer. You're wrapping stuff. Okay, yo-yo is a commodity you can buy for 20 cents on Amazon. Okay, you throw in DVD from the top yo-yo experts in the world teaching you tricks because it's more valuable. You also take that and how you can make money doing neighborhood parties, showing yo-yo, you get more. How to teach yo-yo for profit, this thing becomes a really sexy offer. It's just a yo-yo. We're crying out loud. All right, system offer number 3. All right, number 3. This is where we start making this thing more tangible. I've got 2 things. I make sure I have enough room over here. All right, 3 and 4. All right, so number 3 here, we've got system, we've got offer, we've got stack. And then over here we got the next thing. Okay, so stack. So if you look at the Expert Secrets book, and this is one hard for me because this is one I shifted around the location of where this fit like 5 or 6 times because it's important up front to know where it's going to go. Anyway, so it ended up being secret number 11, the stack slide, and it's on page 145 of the Expert Secrets book. If you have that, if you don't have it, go to expertsecrets.com. Anyway, if you're in the master class, you better have the book at this point. All right, so page 145 has this right here. So when I'm creating a sales presentation, so tomorrow we're talking about how to sell, like your moral obligation, how to get people to give you money, right? So tomorrow we're talking about that. But the first thing, when I create what I'm going to sell, the very first slide I make in my PowerPoint slides is this. It's the stack slide, okay? And so if you've ever been on my webinars, you've seen it before. At the very top, he says, what you're going to get. I had a friend make fun of me. He's like, you spelled going to wrong. I'm like, again, it's cool. Anyway, so you have a slide that has your offer. And again, tomorrow we'll talk about the strategy behind why we structure this way, how it works, how we do the stack. But this is the stack slide. This is the physical representation of my offer. This is the offer I am making to you, okay? So here's what you're gonna get. When you give me money today. This is the offer you are going to get, okay? And I start breaking down. Now, there can be different pieces. Now, if I was creating a new offer, the first thing I do is I go into a room with a huge whiteboard, and I'm like, okay, if I want somebody to get that end result, what's everything possible I could give to them that's just gonna blow their mind? And at first, like, we do everything ridiculous. So it's like, all right, fly to Russell's house. Russell will build the whole funnel for them. Blah, blah, blah. Like, we'll hire the top copywriter in the world to write the copy for them. Like, anyway, it was everything they possibly to give them the biggest result in the world, right? Little things, small things, we just brained up everything on a huge whiteboard because we don't want to like hold anything back. We want to be creative, right? So we have this huge thing, like here's everything we could possibly offer them to get them that result they really want. And then we look at that and we're like, okay, some of the stuff's not realistic. Dan Kennedy's not going to fly in and write the copy for him. Okay, so I delete that. So we don't want to copy, but what can we do? Because I know they need copy. So like, what's the next best thing? Well, maybe if we did this. What if we gave them our scripts? What if we get, okay.
All right, so let's reconnect here and stop the sharing. Everybody learn something? Just what was your biggest takeaway from that?
Me?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest takeaway is that, and I mean, I kind of knew this anyways because I've been doing Amazon for like over a year now, that if you've got a product, you're on a race to the bottom. And so if you got the same product everybody else has, and it's very true, that the price keeps going down, it never goes up. So with what he's saying is that if you can figure out a way to create something around your product rather than just have a product, as he's saying, he uses the word offer. If you can create something else that you're basically giving away with it, then you can create more value out of your product. That was really my biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
Bob, what's your takeaway?
Build what they want.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you got that, because so often, and Doris and John, this is for you too. Yeah, stop worrying about what you want to bring to market, but ask the market what they want and give it to them.
All right.
So, Bob, you're a year-long coaching client. In your company, in your business, what does your market want from you?
Sales and market, they want more business. They want more business. I mean, that's all of us, all my friends / competitors, that's the biggest thing is this business is so up and down because it's weather related. So it's how do you make it more stable? Because we make fast, big cash, so to speak. I mean, you could do 20,000, 30,000 a day, but then you may not have work for 2 weeks. So it's not a lot of money when all of a sudden you've got no work for 2 weeks. So how do you get a steady amount of work?
How do you?
Well, me, right now what's working is I'm building my friends / competitors, a group with them. And now about 50% of my work's coming from my friends / competitors. We're just throwing work amongst each other.
Good.
So we don't have to worry about employees because if they're too busy, they throw it my way. If I'm too busy, I throw it their way. It's just, so we're working together as a group. So it's filling the void of having the slow. It's just like when we're on, one of my friends just texted me, he may have a job for me. Can we do it? And I just texted him back, yes.
Okay, I still want you to step up one more. I want you to level up. So one of the things that I was listening to from one of my mentors yesterday was, what does it mean to level up? So if there's 4 levels, right? First level is salesman. You're out there hustling your ass doing stuff, correct?
Yes.
Yes?
Yep,
So second level, no, hang on. So that first level is you're out there hustling. Second level, now I can remember the second level. Because the third level is CEO, where you are telling other people what to do. And then the fourth level is you become an investor and you let other people do it. One of my goals for you, Tom, I'm actually in the middle of speaking. Can I call you back? Oh, wait, what? No. You want, okay, yes, I'll come get you 150. I'll come get you, okay? Okay. Love you, bye. My daughter's birthday. I'm always trying to struggle between kids and work and trying to figure this out. It's got an interesting bit of challenge, and you become fluid. So I'm actually not thinking about what number 2 is. Leveling up. So you come from salesperson, you're out there grinding, to the next level where you're not the only one doing it, to CEO or other people doing it for you, to become an investor, and you just buy other companies and they do it all and you run that. So Bob, my quest to you right now in your life, and this is the terminology, is I want you to level up. Right now, you still see yourself as the grinder guy who's got to fulfill jobs. I'm going to tell you, there's more money when you level up.
Okay.
And you don't have to level up to, and that is writing this book that we talked about, becoming the king of clean, becoming a little bit more of the expert, and having people pay you to teach what you know, not do what you do.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
And and partly you and I, because I'm still a bit of a grinder as well, do what we do because, one, we tend to believe that nobody can do anything as good as us. That's in the back of our head. That's that approval thing. And that it may, in fact, be true. Maybe nobody does it good, but who cares? What if you can get 10 people not quite doing it as well, but they're all paying you money? So it literally is it's a weird thing about checking your ego out, going, yeah, no one's going to run a Forbes factor as well as you do, Forbes Riley. But I met a man who runs a company that does kind of motivational speaking. He's got 12 people on the road doing it, and he's sitting back and making money from all of them. Which would you rather do? And I'm like, oh, God, that's tough. Okay, I have to stop grinding a little bit maybe. Because, okay, so I understand the pain, but there's a lot more pleasure on the other end.
Okay.
So my next phone call with you is going to be really how to get your expertise out. And it's a combination of books and video. It's one little book.
Okay.
Do you see this book? This book is 61 pages. Oh, wait, I stopped my video. I'm sorry. I don't
I
know
can
how
see it. I
to
can
start
see
it
it.
again either.
That's it.
Oh, you can?
I can see it.
I can't
Yeah,
see
we
it.
can see it.
All right. Well, so there's not a lot of words in this book, okay?
Okay.
It's a really skinny little book, but it's a book. Expert Riches, the forced process for quickly raising your profits. It's like a glorified report with a book cover on it. Some people tell them how wonderful it is, and it's up on Amazon. And there's so many things we can do from this, okay? So, Chuck, you have to help this man get a book because you're in a position now where you need to claim your expertise, and there's more money handing this out to clients, creating this, and that's just the next step for you. You got it? Same thing goes with Tim Hotchkiss, too. He's a patent attorney. He's very good at what he does, but he has no book to make him the best patent attorney. So this is one, being in Forbes Factor is awesome, but two, this little thing changes everything. All of a sudden, you're the expert. If you saw his calling card, you see this? This is his business card. And actually, this is not a bad idea for you, Bob, well, or for any of us, but Bob, I love this, where you say, he wrote something on it, he wrote his cell phone, he put in these, here's my calling card. Well, here's the thing, if you want to make more money in the cleanup business, hang on to that information. It's just very clever. It's very
cool.
simple. It is cool. And it's cool because I'm going to keep it because it is memorable. Nobody throws away a $100 bill, even if it's a pretend, because it still feels like a $100 bill. It was just, and I've seen this done not nearly as well, but he was subtle about it, and he just put it in his book. Oh, in his book. His ugly book is better than your no book. Okay. And I thought, I kept that. I don't keep a lot of things, but I kept this one. So when you got the king of clean, I'm going to make you more what? More money. It's all very subtle. It's all very calculated. It's all very genius. And I love what Russell said today. Two things. That you don't have to create this. A lot of what I talk about, I didn't write all these things. I'm sure it all came to me from somebody else. The point is I spend my time talking about it. And I spend my energy creating it with people. So, because we go, well, Tony Robbins said that. I'm like, no, Tony didn't. His mentor did. He got out of some NLP book. So give it a rest. The worst is yesterday, I ended up coaching one of these kids. He was a great little speaker, but he's like, Grant Cardone said this, and Uncle G said this, and Grant Cardone, I said, if you mention him one more time, I'm going to strangle you. I don't care what he said. I'm not listening to him. I'm listening to you. These are things you care about to talk about. So stop talking about your Uncle G, because he ain't your Uncle G. All right, Miss Claire, welcome to the conference. Yeah. All right. So the point is, you guys can all tune back into Russell anytime you want. It's free. It's on YouTube. I believe that you're all signed up with me. That is cool. Let me share something. Just one last thing. Talk about this book. My link is ForbesFriends.com. I give it out all the time. People sign up, and I wake up and there's like $100, $200, $300 in my account every morning. So far, there's $2,000. Now, for those of us who are part of World Ventures, which is a great club to belong to, as long as you've got your 4 people, it's free. It's great to use. But I make more money this month than I made in World Ventures the last couple of years because it's easier. Got it? So you join things for certain reasons. I joined World Ventures. Oh, did I tell you that World Ventures said yes to this?
Yay!
Yeah, right, okay. So I had that conversation on Monday, I don't know, yesterday, Sunday, whenever it was. Mr. Couch calls me. I've been looking for this deal for 5 years. The deal now is, I like this guy. So and Justin, you should hear this. He offered me a percentage to sell spin gems, right? And it was a fair percentage. It was good. And the deal is he was going to buy the inventory from me outright. I was going to bring the 500 as a test to Alabama. And we kind of set it up really good that it's a test. I'm not going to be there. So if I'm not there, we know it's not going to sell as well, right? That's a good expectation. That's an NLP trick. I cannot be there, so there's no way it would ever sell as well as if I'm there. Well, that's interesting. No matter what happens, if I show up to the very next one, I can do better. That's a good expectation. Think about that for a second. That means if it doesn't sell at all, you can still do better when I'm there. Odds are with Brianna, Nicole, and Kipling, and then I recruited my daughter. My daughter's turning 16. I said, you know what, McKenna, you're free that weekend. I'm on a cruise. Guess who's in charge? She crushed it at 10x. She's an amazing. She's 16 and she's going to run. And the best part is they don't have to take any money. World Ventures takes the money. So all my crew, am I there? All my crew has to do is get it in people's hands. This is very exciting for me, guys. I've been doing this thing for 9 years, okay? 5 years I've been talking to World Ventures. They finally said yes to this small order. I'm going to do it exactly the way it needs to be done. So he calls me yesterday and he says, hey, we're a little cash strapped. What if I give you 25% more of the percentage that I was going to give you if you float the inventory? I said, well, as long as you pay for the shipping both ways, if it does or doesn't sell, deal. But what he doesn't know is that HSN's deal with me is pretty much me floating inventory anyway. And they don't give me an extra 25%. So I'm going to take the risk that we make no money. And then I've paid $1,000 a person. You know, all my salespeople are going to make about $1,000 a piece because it's there for 3 days. It's going to cost me because of airline ticket, hotel room, food expenses, and paying them. It's about $1,000 a person. Well, that's a pretty good investment. That means at least I'm going to make hopefully, at least make my investment back. But we did it. And I'm very, very, very excited. And what I love about him as a businessman, Justin, and this is important for all of us, he offered me that deal. He didn't he's the first person ever that didn't try to nickel and dime me as the vendor. Do you know how nice that feels? I have a different level of respect for him. So I'll leave you with this last little, well, no, I'm not gonna leave you just yet, bullshit. I'm not going anywhere. I listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the guy that the book was created about, not Robert Kiyosaki, but this other guy. And he said something fascinating. When you go to hire somebody, and I don't think a lot of you are in this position, maybe Justin, maybe Bob, maybe Tim, but even think about this when you go for a job of any kind. And you go for a job where you hire somebody and you put down that the rate was $15 an hour, right? That's what you're going to pay them. Now, as an employer, I fell into this. I'm always trying to keep my money, but keep people excited, pay them, but not really think about paying them what they're worth. Because a lot of the times I'm trying to it's a weird phenomenon. Anyway, we all go through this. That's why there's minimum wage, because if we could, we'd pay people $1 an hour, okay? And so you pay somebody, let's do it a year. Let's say you come and you're going to get a job for $45,000 for the year, right? You're going to come work for my company. My mentality, like most people, is, wow, I'm going to offer you 45. I wish I could have offered you 40 because I got to keep my money, but I'll give you some back end. Bullshit. You know what you do? If the person comes in for 45,000 and you like them and you believe in them, you know what you immediately do? You want to see something crazy? Offer them, tell them, you know what? I love that you came in for $45,000. I want to hire you, and I'm going to pay you $50,000 a year. Did they just get a $5,000 raise? What just happened? What do you think happens to the person that you just hired to be part of your company when you gave them more money than they expected? Because, by the way, that amount of money is going to mean they have to struggle and wake up every night sweating about are they going to have enough money for the Christmas presents or vacation. How focused on your business are they? I love this concept, this mentality of giving somebody a little bit more so they're loyal to you. It never dawned on me. Well, what this guy just did, because I'm so used to being beaten up by HSN, you go to HSN and you take your product, hey, the product, I'm going to sell it to you for $10. Like, oh, we need the product for $9.25. I'm like, oh my God. And you're fighting. I've done this with Spin Gym for the last 9 years. I fight over pennies all the time and I always feel bad. They always make me feel bad. Even when I'm doing great, they make me feel bad. This guy comes in and says, you know what? I'm going to give you 25% more. Come and do what you do. We really want you. How hard am I going to work for him now, right? How excited am I to make this deal work? So I'm very proud of him. That's actually very, very exciting. Promote this. Go on your Facebook. You guys should be doing a Facebook Live once a day. I don't care what you talk about. 5 minutes with Justin, just in case you need me. I'm here for 5 minutes. I don't know, some philosophy. And then drop nuggets going, you know what? My mentor, she's making about $100 a day telling her friends and family about a free book filled with life hacking strategies. Who doesn't need life hacking strategies? That's what Russell teaches. He teaches how to behave, how to stack offers. And by the way, you do that all the time and you don't realize it. Most of you don't do it well. But if you're involved in a relationship, right, or you want to be in a new relationship, what do? What should you do? Stack the offer. Hey, dude, I'm just not only cute. I like to cook. Yeah, I fold laundry. I do windows. Sex? Aha. Or it doesn't matter, but you know what I'm saying? Stack the offer. And when you think about life that way, Bob just got that.
I think
Stack
I've
the
done that.
offer. It's good, right? Come on, how do you close the deal? The downsell is you fart in bed, and that's unfortunate. But hey,
How do you think I closed it with Mary there?
dude, Justin, you could close. You got my spin gyms on Amazon. You can close anything. Are you kidding me? I got 18 people asking me to do this. I said, no, I got one guy right now. I'm good. All right. So the next thing, though, is actually building a funnel. You guys have ClickFunnels. I'm going to spend 5 more minutes doing this, and I got to get back to my life here. But I'm going to share with you what McKenna and I have been building. We have a new offer. Came up with a new product because we figured out something everybody needs. You know what you all need? You need resources, right? You need to know what's happening. It's why on my Facebook page and my private group, which I think many of you are part of, we have you write down every day a win, an obstacle, and a resource. Why? Because resources are king. So McKenna and I came up with over the weekend, how do we market and actually drive people in a funnel because of our favorite resources? So she started writing this. And again, I'll give you any of our pages. Oh, so she built a speaker page for me. This is simply drag and drop. Either you get good at it or hire someone to do this. I hate that Zoom will not let me get rid of you guys and stick you over there. Let me stick you over there. Okay. So she built this over the weekend. That's better than anyone else has built for me. Look at that. Wait, let me go to preview on this. Because Chuck, how long has my team not been building a speaker page? Look at this. Yeah. So this is what she built on the ClickFunnels. Uh-oh. There's 2 videos. We have to write something here. Here's Les Brown. Want to check my availability? Go right down there. Oh, that doesn't work right. Yeah. Okay. So we put in 2 videos. Check availability. Hey, get these dating motivational videos right here. Just put your email in. Who is Forbes Riley? Now on her screen, it's on the other side. I apologize about that. Yeah, my top speaking topics. We did this all in a day. We're not quite finished. You'll see some duplications. But it took about 6 hours to do this. What people are saying, we're putting in testimonial videos. Little call to action. And there you go, how to fill it out. Chuck, what do you think of this? Chuck, are you there?
Yeah, what's the link?
Not yet. There's no link. We're just building it.
Darn it. Okay, but yeah,
No,
I like it. It looks
no,
good.
I'm going to have this. It does look good.
Yes.
It's good. It's a good, it took her 2 hours to build this. Now here's another one that we're doing. Go back to
There's a few people you should show this to.
I know, right? Well, you and I will have that conversation a little bit. My computer has some sort of issue going on. Frustrating, isn't it? Well, I'm actually not supposed to have a virus. I have some sort of weird little virus that's taken out all the headlines on my URL things here. It's making it very uncomfortable for me to do business. Here's another. Where's our resource funnel? I don't know if she built the resource funnel yet. I tweaked this yesterday to be my free gift. I'm going to tell you something. Every day, you can create a funnel for yourself. How to get more leads, how to get more connections, how to sell this book. And again, I don't know why my computer is putting stuff on the other side. It really doesn't show up that way. But again, I have this weird little glitch in my computer right now. Oh, baby, because on her computer, it's on the other side. But what you would get, hey, you want to, Forbes, here, free gift from Forbes. You get your free pitch book. You can get that right now. But what else do you get? You get 1 month of weekly mastermind Zoom calls for $9.97. You get to learn you get my free Make Money in Minutes course. You are going to get, this was only for the people who paid thousands at this event I went to. They get 2 tickets to the mastery. We stacked a crazy offer. So you got the 2-day of Pitch Mastery for free. But if you want to join all of Forbes Factor, you got a $500 off on that. And you got the free resource guide. Again, we're building, but you see all the things that she's building. She's 15 years old, okay? She can do this. We can do this. Hello? Hello? Okay. Not today. No, I'm kind of running out of time today. So why don't you postpone him and postpone Paul until tomorrow, please? Oh, tomorrow's your birthday. And tell them that. Shoot, I don't know when. No, I will do Paul. I just don't want to do Harrison. I'm right. Everybody say happy birthday to McKenna.
Happy birthday,
Happy
McKenna.
Birthday, McKenna.
I'm on my funnel hacking call. We're just looking at your funnels. Oh, okay. Well, here. You want to ask me? Okay, well, say something. Go ahead. Go for it. Kenny, you're on live.
What's up, guys?
Hi,
How
McKenna.
you doing?
All right. Anybody have a burning ClickFunnels question?
Yeah, I've been having issues making sure that like funnels that take payments are actually doing it. I'm not so sure they are. How can I actually check that before I go live?
Okay, so are you using Stripe?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go into your settings, there'll be a thing called Stripe, and you can do a test drive. So what it does is you click test, and it'll put it on, and when you go to preview, it'll say testing, and it'll give you a fake credit card, PIN number, all the information you need to see as if someone's purchasing, and it'll go through, and then it'll show up as if your ClickFunnels made money to see if the money's actually going through into your account.
Okay. Okay.
You get that?
Yes.
So if you just go into settings, you click, and you just move it over, it says on off, and you just click it on, and then you can see some back.
Okay.
So McKenna, is that how we figured out that some people may not be showing you exactly how much they actually made, but kind of boosting up their own numbers?
Okay, so that's one way you can do it. So what most people, like if I were you, what I would do is I would make really high ticket items. Like I would say like $200,000 for something, and then I would go in there and pretend to buy it, so then it looks like my funnel made $200,000. Or if you're a coder, you can go back there. But I would necessarily never trust someone if they put up numbers, because you can totally fib them. Like they don't have to be true at all.
Just an interesting little funnel hack moment.
Yep.
I'd love to do like one of these classes, like because I found out there's a bunch of new things on ClickFunnels. So if you guys are open, like we can do like an actual one. We can go through and like build a funnel with you guys.
Yeah, so which is insanely valuable because at some point, McKenna's charging thousands for this stuff. What I would love to do though, Chuck, is to move this class till 3 o'clock on Monday. Can we do that? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna move the class because she has school till 2 because she's still in school. All right, so go enjoy shopping for a car. I love you, and I will talk to you later, okay?
So next
Love you
Monday,
too.
it'll be at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 Pacific.
Yeah, and I have a whole bunch of people who want to join. I just have not kind of put them in. All right, you guys, so the class was a little longer, but I think it's wildly valuable. At the moment, it's still it's completely free. As long as you guys keep a ClickFunnels subscription, it's free. I'm not about making money off you guys right now. I want you to make money. Doris, what are you showing me?
That's our new logo.
Well, bring it closer so I can see it. That was your homework. Yes, yes, yes. Looks like
Yes,
an
it was.
alligator and a dragon are having sex. Wait, what am I looking at?
That's fine.
Looks like puffin stuff.
What's on the bottom?
The bottom is just the dragon next to the treasure chest.
Oh, it's a treasure chest. To me, it looks like a dragon, kind of purple dragons on top of an alligator.
Looks like green stuff
I'm
coming
like,
out.
all right, that's like the zoo channel I don't want to see. Okay. That looks much more playful. Now, I would also just work on the wording, but I love that. I think it's great.
Keep it as simple as possible, guys. Keep
Yeah.
it, the
You came up
logo
with
is,
something.
well, it looks a little complex, so when you go and try and print it, it's not necessarily going to come off like you want it to. The simpler that it is, the better. just because the more lines, the more little things in and out of it, the more colors that you got going on, the harder it's going to be to make it look like you're going to get comments like what Forbes just told you rather than what you're trying to say. So the simpler you can keep it, the better.
Yeah.
Well, because perhaps what you created was in fact a character that's not necessarily your logo, because Justin's 100% correct. Logos are very specific about being simple and duplicatable, but you can have a character who represents your brand, you know, like the Geico guy, the little gecko. He's really
this is ours.
got it. Well, I like that. I get it. But I would still work on a very simple logo type. All right, you guys, I'm going to run right now. Bob, connect with Chuck, and let's make a time. I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Wait, Gina has a question.
I won't be here for a while. You know, I'm disappearing for a little bit with my surgery. So I'll be back on into classes as soon as I can.
Well, but now hang on a second. So what's happening after surgery? What's happening? Are you going to?
I'll be in the hospital for a minimum of 5 days, maybe 7. After that, then I'll come home and I can restart on some things. But
so let me share something with you, my love.
Okay.
Are you taking this to the hospital with you, your phone?
Absolutely. I can't live without my phone.
All right. So if you have enough visual brain power, Zoom lives on your phone.
Okay.
So what day is your surgery?
Thursday this week.
Well, by Monday, you're up tap dancing, my girlfriend. You have heart surgery. They're up walking around the floor the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, unless you're under the knife at 3 o'clock on Monday, you will be on your phone.
Okay.
And we'll watch all the tubes and stuff and laugh at you and wish you were could send you some good food.
No, that would be awesome because I won't be eating for a while.
Well, they're perfect weight loss system. Everything happens for you. No more happening bullshit to you. So I'm Diana. Yeah, you pick up your phone, you put it on a little stand, and you say hi to all of us, and we wish you well. And we become your cheerleaders. I don't need you to work out or stress, but nothing's keeping you from that phone call. We all got that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
That's how we do life here at Forbes Factor. All right. I love all you guys, and I'll see you. See you Wednesday night.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Good day.